guys, it's Monet with Tech Life, and today I'm just showing you my G.R.O.W program or my G.R.O.W plan that I've put in place for my students. I really like it. It took me about 2 weeks to really get like a full picture of how I wanted everything to flow and how it would best serve my students. And so the G stands for guided practice, R, read to self, the O is for observe and apply, and then W is basically technology. And so they use the G.R.O.W work plan during their independent time during reading. So after our reading mini lesson, when students go back to their seat to work, they work on one of these 4 things. And so the G.R.O.W activities are must-dos, and then they have some may-do activities that they can do for enrichment and remediation as well. So this right here is basically how I group them for ability. It is not in order. They don't know which flower means what. And I'm not gonna share it in this video because I have some students that watch and I don't want to do that. But I wanted to show you guys how I have titled their groups. I know some people do sports teams, some people do cars and shapes and colors, but just to kind of tie in with G.R.O.W, I decided to do flowers. So because I have 2 classes every day, my class A would be on the left and my class B would be on the right. And so if I said, okay, I want to see the foxgloves, they would come over and I would work with them on a specific strategy or reading level. I decided to incorporate G.R.O.W with flowers and trees, and I've actually been using that word a lot since the beginning of the school year. And as you see, it kind of flows over our greenery, which is where we teach, where we learn the most. On each table, I'll slow down, sorry. On each table, they have like a little flower pot. But from day one, I've really talked to them about how our learning goal is to grow, to be better, and to know more than we were last year. So everybody's G.R.O.W goal could be totally different. This is their independent resource area. So if they need something for their work plan, they can come over here. These were originally behind my desk, but I decided to take them out and use them for something else because I wasn't technically using them. So they have their toolkits over here. Inside of every toolkit, I explained it before, they have glue, highlighters, sticky notes, scissors, and crayons. These trays I use to store paper, sorry, and one of their activities. So this activity actually is with the observe and apply. So they look at a video on Learn Zillion where it is modeled for them, and then they independently try to do it on their own right here. And then there's paper, lined paper for other activities that they may need. The headsets bin is labeled. It's usually neater, but this just shows you that they actually use it because this is how they left it after dismissal. So this is class A's drawers and this is class B's drawers. So for guided practice, it connects more to main idea. They go inside of their drawer and they have the activity there. Originally, I wanted them to cut it out and put it in their, interactive notebook, but then I was like, no, we're not gonna do that this week. I just want them to show me that they can actually do it. For independent reading, just to have some accountability, I came up with a reader's Tic-Tac-Toe, which after getting some feedback, they have like mini projects that they can do, but they choose 3 of the 6 activities to do, and it can apply to both nonfiction and fiction. And then this is where they turn in their work. So they have to turn in all of their assignments at one time. So the G.R.O.W, whatever they did for guided practice, whatever they did for read to self, and their observe and apply, I'm gonna staple it for them. And this is kind of like my mailbox. So this is where I go every day to see if I have any work. And today is Tuesday, I don't have any work. So that means they're still working on those activities. I can check the technology by going to the website and seeing what they scored. So that's pretty cool. So this is their station, and as you see, they've been respectful thus far of it. I used this method last year to just let students know what voice level we were working in, but this year I decided to change it for something a little bit more specific so that students know what we're working on, visitors in the classroom know what we're working on, and I know what we're working on. So it just helps everyone, no matter if they come in every day or if they're just coming in for a specific reason. They know exactly what we're doing. So if we're doing our mini lesson, I click it. It works really well for when they first enter the classroom. Sometimes they just need a little guidance on what we're walking into. So for in the morning, I always turn on class meeting. This lets them know to go directly to the carpet so we can have our class meeting. Sometimes I may ask them to come in quietly and do their time while I do something with small group. If I know I need to get some type of running record or something like really fast, sometimes I might try to knock it out so students know to independently read when they come in. If you're wondering what some of these are, so Dear Time is drop everything and read, independently reading on your own. Author's Corner, we do a writing program which is called Write Score. So after our Write Score writing lesson, they go back to their writer's spot. I just call it the Author's Corner because they're writing. But they know if that light is on, they're working independently unless they are pulled by myself or one of my co-teachers. G.R.O.W, I already explained, but after our reading mini lesson, we go into G.R.O.W, and that's what they do independently on their own unless I pull them for a small group or to do a running record or to do RTI or to do just some type of conference. And we do have a novel that we're working on. We're doing A Wrinkle in Time. So whenever we're just specifically working on a wrinkle in time, I light that up. And my students really like the book. I wish we had a little bit more consistency in reading the book, but of course, we have 100 other things going on. Okay, so I keep a copy of what the students are working on inside of my handy dandy teacher notebook. It is wonderful, just letting you know. I created this layout specifically for my students. So you see our word is grow. That's our goal for this year, to grow in some type of personal and academic way. The first column explains what each letter stands for. It also provides the skill, the focus, and the standard, if people would like to know what the standard is. Next column is the activity. So they know when they look into the guided practice bin, they should see preventing cavities. And then, of course, I always have instructions. That way, if I am working with a small group, they can know what to do and how to do it. So I explain to them that these are the must-dos, and then the may-dos are down here. So if they're done, then they can work on these other activities. And of course, I'm still trying to get that wrinkle in time in because they really enjoy the book. But for some of my students, it is a little challenging with the vocabulary. So, yeah, I just put it here. And then I love Read Theory. I've been using Read Theory for about 3.5 years now, maybe 4. I think it's about 3 years I've been using it. But this is their work plan. And again, we talked about how you can't always see that something is growing, but over time, we should get some growth. And I think it's encouraging for them. I did also change my homework sheet. It looked a little different in the beginning of the year, but again, I'm just trying to tie everything together. Once I get like a theme or a word, I like to incorporate it in basically everything. So Monday night, we're just really working on analyzing and dissecting the text, which we call our close reading strategy. They get one text, and every night we're analyzing it. And studies do prove that when you look at a text multiple times and you really dissect it with that repeated reading and all of that, it really does help with vocabulary. and it helps you to understand how to dissect and analyze and really pull that information out for when it's time to answer questions. So that activity had 6 questions, but each night they only do 2. And what I've been doing in the morning, instead of doing grammar, we've actually been looking at the homework, and they've been sharing their responses, and I've been showing them what they should be doing, and how they should be doing it. So that way the next week it'll be a little bit easier. We have switched over to nonfiction, which has been a little challenging for some of them, but not all. Like I had a student today, it's an article, and so of course, you know, it's written kind of like in a column, so you read down instead of reading left to right. And so we were going over the homework and analyzing text features and all of that, and the student was like, wait, you're reading it the wrong way. And I had to explain, no, this is an article, so you have to read down left, read down right, and not read left to right. And that you would think that they would think that, you know, because of the text structure and all of those gaps, but clearly he didn't. This is a copy of the reader's Tic-Tac-Toe to hold them accountable for their independent reading time. They can summarize, write a summary for their story or chapter. Some of my students are reading small stories, and then some of them are actually reading chapter books. So once they read their chapter during Read to Self, they have to do an activity. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed looking at my new system for our independent work period. I like to change my environment, but I don't like to just change it just to say, hey, I changed it. I really wanted to tie it into something, and honestly, I really love the G.R.O.W system. I've never really done work plans before this year. Like, I've done things like done centers, and I might print out the centers and let kids know, okay, these are the centers, but I've never really done independent work plans where I just said, hey students, these are the 5 activities, or these are the 4 activities, get them done by such time, unless it was like a project. So this is a new learning experience for me, but I definitely see how it does free you up to do other things for like guided reading or RTI or reading conferences, writing conferences, things of that nature. It really does free you up, but I will say some things that you have to make sure are in place. You have to make sure that students understand how to get things, where to get things. You also have to make sure that you have really good classroom management. I do set a visible timer using Class Dojo, so students know, okay, I have this much time to get the work done. And I do have a Chromebook where it doesn't matter where I am in the room. If I see somebody doing an excellent job, I can give a dojo. If I see somebody that is off task after giving a verbal warning, if I see they don't self-correct themselves, or if I see they're not really working, then I take 1 point for being off task. So that's just a way that I kind of keep the work environment productive and like quiet, and you know, just a good safe place for students to learn. So I just wanted to leave you with that. If you have any questions about the resources used, where you can find them, if you have any questions about G.R.O.W, how to implement it, how my students are doing with it, please leave them in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, love, share, subscribe, comment, catch me on Instagram, and like have a great week. Bye bye. Tick on.